modern warfare in the late 20th and early 21st century marked a dramatic shift away from traditional battlefield concepts as nations began to rely less on massed infantry and more on technology, intelligence, and speed, a transformation first clearly demonstrated during the 1991 Gulf War where coalition forces used satellite navigation, stealth aircraft, precision-guided munitions, and real-time intelligence to dismantle one of the largest standing armies in the Middle East within weeks, proving that air superiority and information dominance could collapse enemy command structures before ground forces even engaged, a lesson that fundamentally changed military planning worldwide and encouraged nations to invest heavily in surveillance systems, smart weapons, and network-centric warfare, leading to a belief that future conflicts could be won quickly with minimal casualties, an assumption that was soon tested during the 2003 Iraq War when a rapid and technologically superior invasion succeeded in toppling a government with remarkable speed but failed to secure long-term stability, revealing that modern battles do not end with the fall of a capital city and that urban environments, asymmetric tactics, and political complexity can turn technologically advanced victories into prolonged struggles, forcing militaries to confront the reality that modern warfare is not only about destroying enemy forces but also about managing populations, rebuilding institutions, and countering insurgencies that blend into civilian life, making it clear that the battlefield had expanded beyond tanks and aircraft into streets, media narratives, and public opinion, setting the stage for a new era where military success would be judged not just by territory captured but by long-term strategic outcomes. As conflicts continued into the 21st century, the war in Afghanistan became one of the most important case studies in modern military history, demonstrating the limits of technological superiority when faced with decentralized guerrilla warfare, harsh terrain, and deeply rooted local dynamics, where advanced drones, air power, and special forces achieved repeated tactical victories but struggled to deliver a decisive strategic outcome against insurgent groups that relied on mobility, local knowledge, and ideological motivation, highlighting how modern battles increasingly favor adaptability over raw power and showing that prolonged conflicts can exhaust even the most powerful nations economically and politically, while at the same time new dimensions of warfare emerged through cyber operations, intelligence manipulation, and psychological influence, all of which became highly visible during conflicts after 2014, particularly in Eastern Europe, where the use of unmanned aerial vehicles for reconnaissance and strikes, electronic warfare to disrupt communications, and cyber attacks targeting infrastructure demonstrated that modern battles are fought continuously rather than within clearly defined fronts, as soldiers, civilians, hackers, analysts, and information channels all became part of a single interconnected battlefield, proving that control over data, narratives, and perception could shape outcomes just as effectively as traditional weapons, and signaling a future where wars would be measured not only in destroyed equipment but also in disrupted systems and altered public understanding. Recent conflicts in the Middle East and other regions have further reinforced the reality that modern warfare is increasingly defined by precision, proxies, and persistence rather than large-scale invasions, as states and non-state actors employ guided missiles, air defense systems, drones, and allied forces to achieve strategic goals while avoiding direct confrontation, showing how limited engagements can still have global consequences through energy markets, diplomacy, and security alliances, and making it clear that modern battles are no longer isolated events but part of a continuous strategic competition unfolding across land, sea, air, space, and cyberspace, where victory depends on coordination, resilience, and long-term planning rather than overwhelming force alone, ultimately revealing that the defining lesson of modern warfare is that technology may change how battles are fought but human decision-making, political context, and information control determine how wars are won or lost, ensuring that future conflicts will be shaped as much by strategy and adaptability as by weapons and machines.